There's no such thing as being too useful. There's a mindset I think a lot of people have. I don't get paid to do that, so I'm not going to do that. Fantastic, good for you. Don't do it. My experience was, if I could do it and I offered myself to do that, over time, I made more money. Getting into the automotive repair industry could be the worst or best decision a young person, an enthusiastic young person might make. And there's definitely a right way and a wrong way to get into it. Myself, I've worked at many dealerships, independent shops, managed shops, been a service advisor, the whole gambit, from entry level to general manager of an independent shop. So I wanted to bestow some knowledge on them. Of course, it's hard to squeeze that into a 30-minute period. Some of the pitfalls that young techs run into when they first get rolling. The first one, of course, the aforementioned technical college, trade school. Probably avoid the trade school. It's not really going to do you well. It's going to cost you money. And in this economy, who can afford that? That is anything that costs you money. So what I would 100% recommend is jumping straight into an entry-level position. You got guys in these positions that were moving boxes at UPS the day before, and now they're putting tires on and changing oil or what have you, whether it's a Jiffy Lube or a Valvoline, or you go to an independent shop like Ken Toweries, even a place like a Discount Tire or Tire Discounters. Of course, Tire Discounters having more mechanical services, whereas from what I'm aware of, Discount Tire does not, just does tires. Even getting in and doing that, get yourself acquainted with the tools, with the shop, with the flow of things, and also just learn how to operate in a workplace as well. If you're 17, 18, 19, what have you, coming in to the workplace, you have a lot to learn about just how to interact with people, frankly, but also what it means to show up somewhere and do the kind of work that automotive is. It's a bit dirty, a bit grueling, a bit tiresome. Really, you shouldn't waste any time in a technical college before you know if being in that environment is going to mesh with you or not. Because it does take a certain type of person, I believe. Having been in shops over the last 10 years, you tend to find that there's a specific, not a specific type, but a specific range of types of people that mesh in an automotive shop, whether it's a body shop or a mechanical repair shop. So that's first thing. Trade schools, don't worry about it. It's not going to help you. Waste of time and money. Just get in and get started. And once you do get in and get started, humility is essential. And to backtrack, the trade school thing, going to remove a lot of your humility, and that is going to probably hurt you professionally, maybe physically too, and the people around you are going to have a lot harder time molding you into what you need to be if you've got a lot of preconceived notions about what your skill sets are and what your knowledge is. So I would, another reason to avoid it. But coming in, being open-minded, being humble, and not expecting anything too fast. It is. You will likely be working for an absolute pittance for a period of time, but from my knowledge, there's not a lot of places out there where you can go in and learn a profession that can really be profitable without having to pay a lot of money. So even though you're not making a lot of money, you should be learning a lot if you're doing it the right way. And be okay with doing the simple stuff for a long time. When I first started, I changed oil at Valvoline for probably 8 to 10 months or so, and then, did who knows how many thousands of oil changes, and then went to a dealership for another year and a half and did again who knows how many thousands of oil changes, but also tires. So grabbed a little something new there. And also learned how to do some basic recall stuff, which got me involved in some minor electronics and some minor interior stuff, taking off dash panels, putting airbags in. This is the kind of work that flat rate techs don't really love doing. Its warranty time is not great, and we'll maybe get into that more about, whether you want to go to a dealership or you want to learn through independent shops, if you want to specialize or what have you. Yeah, doing the basics. It's going to be like that for a little while, and that's okay. You're going to need those repetitions. You're going to need to know what it's like to round off a bolt head and how to get yourself unstuck from that situation. The things you might expect when taking off tires and lug nuts are swollen, and how to resolve that and what to look out for, how not to muscle fuck yourself, for lack of a better words, into a bad situation that you're going to have to go call senior tech, get the manager, let him know what kind of situation you got yourself into so he can get you unstuck. Those things will happen, but learning how to approach things so that you can avoid those things happening more often is going to save you a lot of time and save you a lot of money and headache and busted knuckles, frankly, down the line. And a big part of this is going to a shop that will allow you to develop. There are, I'm sure, many, probably a large percentage of shops out there that will not let a young guy or gal really develop. And if you're in there to be an oil changer and the other 3 technicians are not oil changers and they don't want you to come and take their gravy work from them or even any other kind of work from them, you may find yourself stuck in a spot there at a shop, which it could very well be the case. It's happened to me. It happens to people every day. You have to learn to recognize the situation and then get yourself moved out of it, find another shop, and keep it moving. You just can't let yourself be stuck. And I changed shops probably 6 times throughout my development, just as a technician. So if you feel like you can't develop and you have an eagerness to learn, but they're not giving you the time of day to do that, and they want you to just keep changing the oil and won't show you anything else, recognize that and keep moving. Tools. Harbor Freight, Amazon. Don't go crazy. Please don't go crazy. I know too many guys that would give their right arm and their left nut to go back in time and never touch the Snap-on, the Matco, none of that. The Mack truck. Go back in time and save themselves tens of thousands, if not sometimes close to 6 figures in tool costs. And they're not making enough money to pay that back in a reasonable way, especially with the cost of living as it is now. You really shouldn't be spending that kind of money when you're earning the amount of money you will be coming in entry level to this position. So stay away from it. Don't go crazy on tools. Buy something if you need it. If you do need it, buy it cheap. If you use it enough to where it breaks, buy a nicer one. Learn to differentiate with what kind of tools you need that are gonna be a worthwhile investment, and not drop hundreds of dollars on something that you'll never use, or that you could easily be replaced with something that's $6. And that might sound crazy, but that's a very practical and realistic example. Dealer or independent. Dealer is great. Going to a dealership is great for learning specifics and highly technical things, especially through some development programs that some dealers have. They've got a training track, sure, of development for technicians, because they need people to have certain certifications from that manufacturer in order to do specific types of work on the car. For example, EVs or hybrids, or certain types of systems on cars. A lot of it's going to revolve around EVs and hybrids as of right now. But even different levels of recalls require different levels of certifications for some dealers. I know Subaru's like that, for example. But you could also go to an independent shop. It's a little, depending on the shop you go to, and I'm talking about like the Meineke's and the Firestones and stuff like that. Depending on the shop you go to, it could be a lot more of a relaxed environment. There could be opportunities to grow a little bit faster, depending on what the needs are. If you're working for a mom and pop shop and you show them that, you know, a month in that you can do brakes and do them reliably, then they might have you doing that. If you go to a larger shop, they might have to send you through some sort of training program through the organization in order to, you know, let you do that kind of work. Or you'll have to just really prove yourself. If it's a high volume place, they're not going to let you dilly-dally on repairs that some other guy can do in 30 minutes. if it's going to take you 2 hours. You might have to really develop that kind of thing a bit more slowly to get yourself into it. But certainly ask questions, watch YouTube videos, let the people around you know that you're trying to learn more. The more useful you are, even if that's not your position and what you're being paid for yet, the more useful you are, you will inevitably find yourself being moved into the positions you want to be in. There is no such thing as knowing too much. There's no such thing as being too useful. There's a mindset I think a lot of people have is, I don't get paid to do that, so I'm not going to do that. Fantastic, good for you, don't do it. My experience was, if I could do it, and I offered myself to do that, over time, and reasonably enough, I made more money. They saw that I could do it. Eventually, they're going to need me to do it, and that's the marketplace. If you can do it, you will do it, and if you're not compensated for it, go somewhere that will. It's really just about putting yourself forward. Here's an example. When I worked at Mazda, I was an hourly technician. I carried the certifications of a senior tech because they needed somebody to, so I took the tests to do it, but I was still an hourly technician. They had something come up where there was a lug nut recall on new Mazda 3s, and I put my hand up and I said, I'll do the extra work. I'll go do them. I'm talking about torquing thousands of lug nuts on a giant lot, hundreds of cars, and all I earned myself was a little bit of overtime that I worked. But I showed myself to be the guy who was going to do the extra work, and it's really that mentality that allowed me to move forward at every step of the way. That's probably not the greatest example, but it's just an example. It's that kind of thing every day. And you might say, oh wow, like what a try hard, like you're just giving your effort up for nothing extra in return, really. If you feel that way about it, so be it. But my career, I feel like, speaks for itself. Going from a guy changing oil to the general manager of a shop before you're 30, well before you're 30, I think something worked out. And I don't think it was sheer coincidence that my mindset of I'll do that versus the I don't get paid to do that, I don't think that had nothing to do with it. So anyways, I think that's enough for now. Let me know down in the comments if you've got any questions, if you're a younger guy or gal and you're looking to get into automotive, or you've been in it for a while and you just want to share your story a little bit, maybe something that helped you develop, something you did with your employer or the guys you worked with that helped you move forward as a technician. Go ahead and share it down. I'd love to see it. Love to talk to you. That's about it. Have a good one.